All right, guys. Can you see my screen? Drew, are you on or is your wife? Sometimes he's on. All right.
Oh, I see it.
Uh, where we closed Friday, right? And I would say I had a really, really good day Friday for myself. We traded live. We hit 2 trades. And that was enough for me, right? We hit one perfectly up for, I think it was 44 or something like that, the level that bounced. And we took that off, right? But we did end up in what type of distribution is this for most? What do we look for when we have this setup here? So this is your double distribution, right? So you have a really high node at the top, and we did not spend a lot of time where?
At
How
the
much?
bottom?
At the bottom.
So if you guys think about it, this was the prior day, right? This was your Thursday, this is your Friday. How much time did we spend above Thursday's high or POC? Do you see this? We didn't spend a lot of time at all, right? So why does the market auction higher?
To shut off buying.
To shut off the buying, okay?
To test if it wants to go higher.
Well, it's to shut off the buying. The main goal of the market is to find where the opposite response is. If you're going higher, you're looking for the response that stops it. If you're going lower, you're trying to shut off the selling so you find some buyers. But here we did not spend a lot of time there, right? The value was built, and I would say majority of your TPOs, if you count here, was this 3, 6, so 3, 6, 7, 15. So majority of your TPOs were below, right? So the short-term auction here was intact, right? If you guys look, they tried to hold it here. If you guys look here, this was your value area low. They're trying to hold it. Who would try to hold it on this day? Is it long-term or short-term traders?
Long term?
So remember, the balance is set, and when a short-term trader wants to trade, they look for what?
Fair
Price
value.
favor or fair price. They need liquidity. A short-term trader needs liquidity and they need to trade within fair values. So they're looking for responsive activity. Anytime when you see, if you look how this started, I'm just going to go to regular for a session, just to look at the TPOs. When you guys look at this, right, you have the A, you have the B, right? And then, the B did not auction lower here much. I believe it took the B, the A down, and then the C, I don't see any C's below here, right? So it seems like it stopped. The C was at 41.47, right? So the first hour and a half, they were inside here, right? They're ranging inside, and then you try to see the D period tried to auction higher, and we created a poor high here. So this is a poor high. A failed auction means what?
Nobody wanted it at that high price.
Failed auction means that we did not have a single buyer, right, at the top, right? And then we were not able to completely close it the way auctions should be closed. So in that case, that means on this double distribution, if you're able to crack this level of 41, 42, what do you guys think will happen? Like this level right here. Where do you guys
Revisit the unfair auction.
That would be correct. And that auction happens to be also, right, basically your value area high probably here on volume, right? If you guys look, that's your value area high, and it's, your PDL and your failed auction. Failed auction usually will be your PDH, not PDL in this case. So you have a lot of reasons to believe that if you're able to take over this 41.42, you're most likely going to hit 41.76. Would I not take anything off at POC? I would be naive not to think that there's going to be some seller sitting there to take it out, right? And I would think that at 41.40, once we look at the delta profiles, that we're going to have a major delta here on the green side. And I would think once I establish this here, probably 41, 57, 58, you're gonna have some serious delta on the selling side, and I'll explain that here, why. You hit PD POC plus single prints failed auction. What else can we call it? What's the last name? Single prints failed auction, and the last name is. Come on, guys, you're
Unfair
part of.
high.
Remember, unfair high, something else.
Poor high, poor low.
Poor high, poor low. So it'll be an unfair high would be when the price went up, but it's not fair to be there, right? And then you're basically gonna sell off aggressively, right? So unfair high would be something like we had right here, right? This was the unfair high that was set. And now if we come back to this level at any point, right? If we drive up here, this is going to be a crucial level. Do you guys remember that boxing match when I wrote this out, one of the watch lists? Well, they're not able to crack that because these people are fairly aggressive here. Okay. Yes. So unfair, well, not unfair. I'm sorry. Poor high. Somebody got me twisted now. Poor high here is probably the ultimate test that we want to see above 41, 42. We have one single print in the last class that we had. Is this normal on market profile to have single prints on the B shape? This is your B shape, right? It's totally normal, right? That's how usually the distributions are separated, is you're looking for single prints. And if you're able to hop over these single prints, most likely you're going to target value, the high POC of that node up top. And in this case, the first target will fall somewhere at 41, call it 50, 60, and then find a node here, probably 64. So that's something I would be watching on the upside, right? Somewhere around here. This would be the area you're targeting. If you're able to break 42, probably close to 20 points you can catch, right? But that's only if it happens, if it breaks. Would I buy at the low here, expect to hit that high? Probably not. The odds would not be in your favor. And what's
That
go ahead.
question is the price is already above that. So
I don't know
would
where the
we?
price is just yet. I was just looking RTH, right?
Okay.
We'll open it
Okay.
up, right?
Okay. Thank you.
So where's the price? So price is already above this. So they're most likely
Yeah.
they're gonna push it here. I would
Okay.
expect them, to push this, right? So if they give you a retest on the value area low, I think that's a go ahead, right? At least it is for me in this case.
Okay.
If they're able to, and I don't know what's going to happen. There's probably news coming through the war or whatnot, but they don't have much resistance all the way up until here. 4160 is probably where they're headed, for tonight. And that's only about 7 points away, so they can execute that with one candle. Yeah, but any retest here, we have to hold this 40 here, right? And you guys see that the bottom node here from TPO perspective, they have to hold this. I would say the bulls have to hold this period here. I usually call this just second POC because if they are able to auction a little bit higher, it's the highest node for me. So I will watch this, and we know about this level. I would say 41.35 to 45 was that range that we had from almost 3 years, right? So that matches the range, the top of the range, the bottom of the range, with the POC being kind of the key point here. If we lose that big level here, your sentiment's still bearish, right? I would say does not look good. On the bottom side, on RTH, what do we have? Is this a poor high?
Yes.
Unfair.
No. Why is it not unfair high?
Is it because it's not an A or B, or I'm not sure?
No, just
It's
not
only
two
one
lengths of single
TPO.
print. We only have one period
Okay.
here that's print. If you had two periods, that would mean that they're aggressively wanting that. Okay.
Okay.
One period means what? When you see this, what does it mean that?
Failed
No
Very
auction.
confidence in the buying.
So think about it. Somebody gave them an ability to buy it. Somebody gave you ability to buy iPhone at 200, and it's almost the iPhone was not for sale. That's what this means. Does that give you a good example?
Yes.
So if the iPhone was hot, you would have inventory being snatched up, right? Pretty aggressively. But because it's not, therefore, you know, they don't give you the confidence here. Confidence was here on this candle, but you know, after hours, they really they didn't even break the candle high here, the body high. So this gap up is a little shady here. Let's see what they do. And then would I short this? Let me go on ETH, make sure my POC is right. So in this area, would I look for a short? Yeah, I would look for a short, but I would ideally want to see what?
Failure.
We need to see a failure. I mean, we need them to get in. And as soon as they get in and they break this level of 4160, it's probably gonna give you a quick retest and they would target this level. So this is one play, and we were short right here. Was the first play for bullish side here. If they come back tonight here, this is your play right here. What's the third play? Not the best reward.
The third play may be hold 4162 and go
That's
up to
correct.
the PDH.
Yep, you would have, I would watch, you know, this PDH probably has to be a little bit higher because I was on RTH. I usually mark my PDH from extended period. So somewhere around here, and then we will probably target somewhere around this POC. This is your VPOC. So this will be the first target right here. And then again, you would look to buy it somewhere here, right? And then the last one, which is a little bit more bearish, is if we, you know, if you short here, you know, where can they sell off? I would say they can sell off somewhere around here, and then they would probably target the PDL. So you're looking to crack this 4135 and below. Below 4139, the long-term, you know, players are going to be around that level. So if you're able to crack this level below this node from day to day, I think we target this level here. Because we don't have any access, you know, there's not a lot of single prints, only one single print. So we haven't seen much aggression yet. But if we are able to break this PDH tomorrow, do not do what? Don't do what?
Short.
Okay, don't be a hero trying to short this. Because that would most likely trigger, somebody go mute. Most likely would trigger a really, really strong short cover rally because we're coming from a critical point. We hit that 4125. We're defending 4140, and now you have a P shape with a suppressed P shape here, right? And that's on ETH. So it changes a little bit on RTH because you get a double distribution here. So now if they're able to crack that level, man, if they're able to just hop over this level here, 4180, they can probably rocket much higher. I would not try to short anything above here. Would not. I'm trying to add notes so you guys can remember this. So I would look for a short if they go above and fail, and the failed point would be somewhere around 73. That would accelerate it down probably all the way to 62. So that's quick 10 points here. But if they clear this level, I would say, you know, it changes the game a little bit. Okay. So this level here clears. I would expect us to really, really take off above the PDH because that would also stop the framing down on a daily. And that's at this moment, I would say that's for bulls, that's probably the primary objective that they're trying to stop is to stop the bleeding, right? Make some higher highs, clean up, you know, put in some higher lows so you can go, you know, at least do a cover rally. And then if you look at the levels, where would you expect a decent short to be?
$42.60.
Yeah, this would be a really, really good level here. 2x POC. You will have the range bottom here previous, right? This was our range bottom somewhere around here. So if they're able to get in here, right? If they hop over this level, most likely they're gonna target 42.60. That's another 40 points, right? That's not bad. So you would have something like this as well. So somewhere around this area, and you'll be watching for this long here. Okay. So any questions on ES so far? Let's look at the ES and then we'll look at NQ. I want to see if anyone notices it without me pointing it out. The right side's delta, the orange is red, and the green one's green, right? So, and I can make that a little bit more. Okay. What do you guys notice? This is weekly profile. Does anyone see anything on delta that can help you?
10 million red. I don't know.
This level here has almost negative 5,000 delta here, along with this one here, right? This little range here. It's not one stack. I mean, if I change the tick size, right, it would. But you see this level here, 41.55 all the way to 57 is pretty stacked, right? So I would definitely watch this. And then on the bottom, look at the range bottom here that we identified as 41.40, right? The big level that we've been kind of waiting for a long period. So now they define the range for you. And what do you think they might do here?
Bring it back to those buyers at 41.40.
Well, I think they can build value here in between before the next move happens. I think they can consolidate here, right? They have a decent range. I mean, that's 15 points, probably 2 days. And then the break of this level or this level, if you guys look, you know, the next high volume nodes all the way up here. I would say start somewhere around here. And then the buying level, I mean, it's not, I don't even see it. I will have to go back probably 3 months. So there's buying here, selling here, some more buying. And then excessive selling again, all the way to 42, 30, 60 should be, yeah, 60 is loaded. Somebody really offloaded, somebody re-added here. So liquidities, there's a lot of liquidity above. So I wouldn't be shocked if they consolidate and they pop higher. Get people excited before something else comes out news-wise. But I'll just pay attention to this. On daily, it's not as aggressive, I would say. If you guys look here, it's nothing crazy. As we're going down, we have a double distribution on here as well. And you guys see here, if you're able to clear from footprints 4164, I mean, you can really, really rocket all the way to 4180. And that's similar to what we had, I would say, here. If you're able to go over 4164, what did we say? You hit 4180.
Same thing.
Yeah, same exact thing. So that's a really good confluence to have. I would definitely watch that, right? This little run from here to here. There's not a lot of resistance there, if you want to say that. And then cracking, you guys see this again, the POC of that candle was at what, 41.37 to about 8. So it's a good range, right? You have 2 points. And I would anticipate if they lose that, they can drag this all the way down to 4 points, and the last bounce could be here. Losing that, they would accelerate, which also I would say is very closely to our levels that we said bulls have to hold. What's the level that we said? 41.35. So very close to the level that we just identified, right? I would say you want to go below this level here so you don't get trapped. And then below that, I think we're able to probably hit 4100 or so. Okay, any questions thus far? The last thing I want to do on ES is to make sure that I have any other downside levels that I have, right? I think we're okay with the upside levels because we know the most recent support or resistance are still going to be there. But I do want to look below and see if I'm missing any major levels. If I'm missing any major levels from like monthly profiles, right? So if I was to go here, change this to, let's say, monthly, and change this, take the TPOs for a second, it just gives me a bunch of errors. So we're aware of this level here, and the value area low is at 41.16. So I'll definitely mark that, and I think that's May, right? Yeah. Was that 23?
23.
So this year flew by for me. I don't know about you guys, but this year was just super fast.
Yeah, you're old now.
Yeah. 5. There's a little node here. I would notate this node here. 41.16 or so. And then what is this guy? There's a VPOC here, March. Well, I remember this level.
Banking bounce.
Huh?
Banking bounce.
Banking bound?
The bounce from the bank failures.
Oh, that's what happened? I don't know. You have a good memory. Yeah. I just remember that level for some reason. All right, so now I have some good levels, right? If you decide to auction, right? And they're still ranging here overnight, so don't get too excited. But I would buy overnight 41.47 for a scalp if you wanted to play 4 or 5 points. If you're bored, but otherwise, we're waiting for this 42 or 39, and you would know because this was your range where you consolidated from. And now, they could fill this gap overnight. So, and that PD value low would be very good long for me. Okay. Let's take a look at NQ because you guys became addicted.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm just gonna look at this opposite a little bit. Oh man. Oof. They're dancing with fire.
But NQ has a full send on the weekly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch of tech.
Yeah, Apple ER this week.
Yeah, Nvidia has FS on weekly too, and somebody else.
The FSU or FSDs?
FSU.
Ooh.
I was really pleasantly surprised, or unpleasantly surprised.
Well, we just have to. I can check some tonight or tomorrow morning on some clouds and see if any of them are closed bottoms. We should have completed a bunch of weekly cycles, meaning we went from the top of the clouds to the bottom. All of those should have been, I would say, all the big boys. Well, I don't know about Apple. Apple didn't really dump for me. I'll get to Apple. It didn't do anything yet. So maybe the ER is, I don't know, maybe that's the event that they're waiting for to either drive the market up. I mean, they could literally, last time, which stock drove the market up?
Nvidia.
Well, I would say it was Nvidia and Microsoft at one point, right? Microsoft had that massive, wasn't it like 80 points move as well? It had something crazy. So well, yeah, Nvidia is one of them, but I think Microsoft is huge, and they held it. I mean, Microsoft held their gains from last time here. So what is this? May? Oh well, maybe. So 13,291 doable, and then I mean you have another weekly, monthly. What is this? March. I just look for the VPOCs, see, identify those first. And then I see some high volume nodes, right? So this is March value area high. Wow, this month was crap. Month of April. When you look back, it's like, holy crap, that range was tight. 13. Wow, it looks tight. I guess we were just spoiled.
Yeah, it was crap.
But when you think about it, that's crazy. I mean, that's pretty, I mean, for a month, 550 points, man, that's pretty crazy. And then the other month, you had 1,500 points. So yeah, it's crap. But what a tight month. Wow. So I would identify, I mean, if they're able to crack this level here, let's just zoom in on the right here. I would say anything below 15,254, man. This is a bloodbath. And they're gonna show up here. 1437. So that's my long-term analysis, right? And what this is October. Man, they are so far from value. We're gonna get a bounce here. They're gonna bounce here. We are so far from value. And this month's pretty much done now. I'm sorry, did you get to the part in the book, Markets Profile, talking about identifying long-term traders in the value?
Just the beginning part, only like 70 pages in.
Yeah, you're not there yet, but man, that's gonna be your most complex reading for that.
I mean, my thing is I just want to start getting in practice of saying, here's the type of day, here's the type of day, and just following. Well, I mean, make a checklist, right? And then just so that way it becomes secondary, and you just notice things.
Well, yeah.
But
That
I got to
has
lay out the
happen
bullets.
naturally. Yeah, it has to
Yeah.
happen natural progression though.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
try to force it, it's not gonna stick as much. You have to create a process that reminds you to check that. And I mean, for me, I just look and kind of it kicks in. It's almost
Yep.
like for people changing your tire, you know, they don't go look at the steps to do it. They just know what the fuck to do there. Well, not mine. My people suck here.
What book is that?
Markets and Profile. Is that what you're reading? Dumpsy, I believe you are.
Yeah.
It's a really good book. I would suggest everybody reads it, but it can be a little dry. What do you guys notice about this versus ES? Here's NASDAQ. I'm just gonna switch to ES so you guys can see it. What do you guys notice? Is there a difference? Let me hide this so you guys can focus in. I'm gonna remove these drawings. Hopefully you guys can follow along. It just drives me crazy.
Different shapes and different POCs.
Tell me more.
Yeah, no single prints on the bottom.
Yeah, just keep in mind I'm on like 30 thick size. I wouldn't pay attention to that. Is there anyone else? What's the difference? NQ?
Overlapping VA
Okay,
to
pay
the
attention
top, to the bottom.
yeah, pay attention to the POCs. Their POCs above the previous day value area high. Right? And of course they got rejected, but they were able to close right above the PD POC. So they created the highest volume here and it looks like it was sell off, right? But they closed above. So now you have a range here. You're going to be ranging here 1433.45. If you're able to crack that, then you have a high chance to run. I don't know where we are in ETH session right now, but that's going to be a critical level for you to watch here because you have a value area high. If I can mark right here. What is this? Is this not Friday? Thursday? You have this value area high, right? And then you have PD. You have emergent POC here. We'll leave that. And then the value area low that matches what?
PDPOC.
So now you see, I mean, if you're short, where do you want to short? On a breakable level, what level do bulls have to hold?
PD Val.
PD while, because happens to be a really, really crucial level here, right? It's also a bloodbath level here. So if they are able to close and spend a lot of time below, that would tell us that they're, the value is being built lower, right? In terms of this, but right now you have 2 days POs, 2-day value area, sessions, right? That are overlapping in value and the range. So it's almost like a 2-day balance so far. We had these balances before. We had 1, 2, 3, and then we sold off, right? Elongated, but lowercase b profile went more, and now you're consolidating again. So on a really extreme bullish side, what level do you want to take over? You want to be above this, in my opinion, right? You want to be, to really reverse this, you have to hop over this. Why this level?
That would be a change of character.
That's one, right? But this is your range top right now. If you guys think about it, it'd be somewhere here, range high, and you have your range bottom on TPOs, somewhere around here. So if you're
Out
able
of
to get in
balance.
there, out of balance, right? You would be looking to crack that, get in, and you'd be looking to target the equilibrium of the previous session, right? So if you guys go 1, 2, 3, we'll change this TPO to 3-day so you guys can see it. So here's our, equilibrium of the previous level, which is 14,777. And you see here on this one, you have a lowercase b. That's where your 3-day POC is as well. Your value area high happens to be right here at 398. I'll call it 14.4. So if you're able to crack that, about 60 points before you're tested on this lowercase b with the high volume node. And we know from volume profile, how do you play lowercase b?
You short the low volume
Wait,
node right above the high volume node.
You short the high volume node right here, right? So that would be the short opportunity would be here. And if they're able
Wouldn't
to
that be a
crack,
low volume node? Because it's smaller than like where the POC is at.
I would say it's lower high volume node. This is low volume node.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I refer to them a little bit different. Okay, got you.
Now, you have a low volume node here. This is just a HVN, not obviously as POC, but it's still a high volume node compared to the rest. And then you have some, in this sense here, you have some 3-day O period sitting here, single print. So is there a high chance they can come back and test this? Seems like, they already spent some time there. So if they crack 44.12, can you catch this from here to here? Absolutely. This can be quick, whatever that 40 points is there. Would I look to add new ads here till we kind of auction above the supply? No. Right? 14,460, from this level here till about, 14.5 is going to be tough to trade on the long side. They really need to take out this period here, and then you're able to run higher. And I would think you're going to most likely hit that equilibrium level that we had on the 3-day POC, wherever that was. I guess somewhere here, right here, 77-ish, 77. Okay. Let me just view this one more time. Let me see where we are right now. So that way, okay. Look at that level right there. What is this green zone right here?
PDPOC.
Yeah, that's your TPO, right? So now we'll add the volume profile just to look at it on ETH. I would not be shocked if they're able to auction tonight to this level here. Even here, whatever the 2-day, instead of using the 1-day, it does not make sense not to use 2-day in this period, right? Because you are balancing 2 days. I would definitely use this over the 1-day analysis right now. So this would be your first sig somewhere right here. So any auction above this, you can catch all the way, to the previous day high, which would be somewhere around here. High chance you will crack that if you're able to go over the first sig here. I don't even know if I marked that one. And then use 1 sig on the bottom. I don't care for 2 sigs. We have some levels below. But I would definitely watch, right? If you're able to go below this POC, what does it tell you about your sentiment? 2-day POC here.
Bearish.
Yeah, your sentiment should be somewhat bearish when you go above this, below this 2-day POC. That's telling you that they did not find much value. They were not able to build above the equilibrium. And then when you go in the regular session here, come on. That would also mean that you cracked what? I'm trying to give you guys how I look at it so you guys can start analyzing a little bit more and get confluence points. On RTH, right? I don't do this, but you would be below the value. You would be also cracking the RTH POC, but more importantly, your Thursday value area high, you'd be going below that. Okay. So that's why that would be important, because if you go below Thursday's value, what does the value usually tell you? Where you're going to end up? Well, most likely you're going to go to this level here, PD value area low, but it also in play would be this 41.81. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is anyone
Yeah.
confused by this? Okay. Update on the quiz. So I think you guys are probably, I feel confident that most of you guys are ready with simple stuff that we've done on market profile, right? I looked at the quiz. I ran some pivots on it to see. The median was 12. You guys know that there was one question that was a little tricky. It was 5 points. I would say 67% of the people got it wrong. But I don't know if it was, I won't do that again, because maybe you guys didn't know you could check multiple, or, you didn't know if it was multiple choice or not. So I won't do that type of questions again. But I did update it. I added quite a bit of questions for the next section, right? And unfortunately, you guys will have to take the quiz with previous questions as well. It becomes kind of like a running, because it gives me where you're failing, right? If somebody doesn't understand the first level, well then, guess what? We have to reiterate the first level so we can move on. I feel pretty confident just listening to some of you guys, because I do stop and you guys hear me asking. Sometimes I give you wrong hints and you guys correct me. That's a good sign that you guys are picking it up, right? So it's good to see. So I did, I think, 16 questions added so far, and I have 4 more I want to add. There's 3 that I'm hoping some of you get, but I'm expecting 99% to fail on those 3 questions. So that will be a good test for me on those 3 questions, see if you guys are progressing from second level to the third, but overall grade will give me an idea, right, where the median score is, or POC of the score, where you guys are going. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'll be live tomorrow, and I'll catch you in the morning. Hopefully, you guys had a good session, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Shorty. Good night.
Thank you.
Night, everybody.
Thanks. Good night. Thank you.